happen for no reason, though. I mean, you know, none of us are stupid in this room. There must be a reason if this is true, and the president wanted his birth certificate and selective service card forged, and if this is fraud, what do you think should happen?
I have no idea. I think you're taking it where no one has ever gone before. I don't know about that. I'm not accusing the president. This is on a come. Let's wait and see how we can develop this information on the birth certificate, possible fraud, possible forgery. That's how we came up with this information, which I think is very, very important right now. We want to get to the bottom of this. I think everybody's asking this question. Mr. President, please come up with some other information where you were born. If this isn't true, the birth certificate, come up with some other information, and then everybody will go away. I'll say, I'm sorry, I didn't waste any money on this, but I think, well, at least I stimulated some interest in here, and I think we all win in our country. We don't want this to continue. You know it's been continuing on and on and on. I like to think maybe we're doing something to resolve this problem once and for all. I have nothing against the President of the United States. I respect his position. He works hard. I have nothing against him. But this is something that has to be settled.
So, Sheriff, what kind of action would you take, Sheriff? What kind of action would you plan to take? What can you do from your bowling club in Maricopa County?
Right now, we want to see if these are forgeries and fraud. We want to find the perpetrators, no matter where those suspects may be.
What would be sufficient evidence for you?
Just like any other forgery case. I think we have a little experience.
For you, for the president to come forward, what else would you like to see him to?
I just would like to see the president, if he can come up with some other documentation to put this to rest. That's
what about his birth
kind of.
announcements in the white newspapers?
I can answer that one. Thanks for that question.
I was hoping that one didn't come up. The birth announcements and that birth registry, which is just line items. We have not information, we have evidence. And we can prove beyond a doubt that not only are foreign births registered in those birth announcements and the line item registrations, we also know and have let me correct myself, we also have documented evidence of 2 adopted individuals that were breathing 3 years prior were listed as newborn infants. It's not creditable because it doesn't tell us anything. We know a birth took place, and maybe a little homework to clear it up. In 2000, let me finish. That's the newspapers. That way that happens, it happens with the newspapers. There's no distinction as to where someone was born. There's no distinction if they were adopted. They're just listed. It's not creditable information. In 2000, the Inspector General issued a report about the rampant problem of birth certificate fraud. And within the opening paragraphs of his report, he states that a birth certificate's intended purpose was only to register the event of a live birth, not anything else, and in and of itself is not credible information to prove identification or citizenship. There has to be other documentation to be considered. That's right from the government.
So
We
how
didn't
did
do
he get?
that.
So how did he get a passport? You know, I mean, somebody had to examine
good
some
point.
documents to give the man a passport.
If you want to, I don't want to. Sir, our investigation is still ongoing, and that's a great question. I just cannot answer it here for you today.
And what about the fact that his mother is American? You know,
That's a Second Amendment issue, and I'm not here to answer that.
Mike,
Listen, this is continuing. We're not done yet. I want to thank Dr. Corsi and everybody, and we're going to do the best we can to resolve this matter. It's not over, and I appreciate you coming. I hope you will look at the proof or look at the documents, stick with that, not all this other politics and everything else. Stick with what we said today, and you make your own judgment as to whether it's credible or not.
Mike, can I ask you one more question before you go?
Thank you all for coming.
Could the fact that Obama was born in the 50s have anything to do with the inconsistencies in the birth certificate?
He was born
61, I'm sorry.
You know, sir, candidly, I don't believe so because I was born in 1960 and I know what my birth certificate looks like. I don't have these. It truly doesn't. I wish I could tell you something different. It just doesn't.
Born birth postings were